We're live. Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing? Spur of the moment live show. I'm just finishing my 10-hour break here in rainy Ohio. Um, Take a sip of water real quick. See if anybody shows up this afternoon. Usually when I do these like impromptu live shows, I get a decent crowd. Instead of scheduling it. But yeah, here we sit in rainy Ohio. My day is going to start in probably an hour, hour and a half. And then this isn't going to be a super long live, maybe an hour long. And then I got to kind of get motivated. I just got done taking my shower, eating some lunch / breakfast, whatever you want to call it. A couple of people stopped by. D. Compton's in the house. What's going on, man? The man, the myth, the legend, Jerome Jones is in the house. What up, bro? I'm in Ohio. I'm not over by you, but I am in Ohio right now where it's raining. One thumbs up, 2 people in here. Everybody give me a thumbs up. Here, we'll change the angle. There we go, or the camera view. How's everybody doing today? Like I said, I'll just do a short little live here, maybe an hour long, and then I should kind of get motivated and get ready for my day to begin. I had an early morning delivery today here in Ohio, and then I don't pick up again until later tonight, like 7 o'clock tonight. So here's where I sit. I'm at a Love's. It's a very busy Love's. It's almost like a drop trailer style Love's, which is weird. Lot of mega companies here with their trailers dropped, and then a lot of bobtails. So there must be some big distribution center near where I currently am, because there is one very big mega carrier that has, parked right next to me. They have 5 bobtails just parked, and this lot has a lot of bobtail parking, so I'm assuming there's like a Home Depot or there's got to be a few big distribution centers here where they allow these companies to drop trailers, and maybe it's some sort of like shuttle thing where another driver comes and picks it up. But anyways, how's everybody doing this afternoon? Edward's in the house. Man, the comments just all of a sudden go crazy, and I'm never going to be able to keep up with it. What's the live you use for your trailer rails? You mentioned a while ago in a previous video. What is the you use for your trailer rails? Oh, the spray are you talking about? I use a lubrication spray for roll-up doors, like garage doors, or if you have a trailer that has roll-up doors, how they have the little wheels. That's what I use. I think that's what you're talking about. Grumpy old truckers in the house. What's going on, man? Never fear, Elvin's here. What's up, buddy? Yeah, what's going on, man? How are you, Elvin Johnson Jr.? Tolga's in the house, the one and only. Just getting through some of these comments, guys. I always fall way off because I just start talking. Cents per mile's in the house. What's up, Sugar Pie? What's going on, man? How are you? People saying hi to each other. How are you doing, Cents per mile? I actually watched a video of yours. Was it yesterday? Did you drop a video yesterday? Maybe it was the day before. I am the Insult Investors in the house. Wow, you made it. Insult, what's going on, man? Long time subscriber. For a long time, I thought he was a troll. I thought he was somebody that might know me that came up with a name. Yeah, I thought he was a troll. But anyways, what's going on, man? How are you? Forgot what I was talking about. How's everybody doing, man? How's the market treating you? I went home and wasn't planning on taking time off. It ended up being 5 or 6 days at home because I had 2 loads that canceled on me, and then I didn't want to run the freight that was being offered to me. Let's talk about that for a minute. This is going to be a little bit of a rant, I guess. And believe me when I say this, everything I'm about to say can be done, and I've done it. I've done it in my personal life, and I've done it in my business life. I've shared before, back in 2008, the housing market went to crap. 2008 to 2009. For me, it was 2008 till 2011, before things like kind of worked themselves out for me on a personal side. And I have no problem saying back in 2008, I went through a divorce. I lost my job of 10 plus years. I went bankrupt. I went bankrupt. I lost my house. My house was being foreclosed on. I was so backwards on that. I lived so outside of my means that I had no other option. I was so much in debt, and I had no assets. I lost everything. I lost my new car. I lost everything. And I made a decision back then that I would never go through that again. And I think I've done pretty well on a personal side. I leave myself an emergency fund, and I believe everybody should. First and foremost, I'm not a financial planner. It took me a long time to become like decent with money and good with money. Once I did, it became really easy, and I thought to myself, man, why did I do this 10 years ago? But I believe in having an emergency fund. And if you read some financial papers or read stuff that, banking and financial institutes put out, a lot of them will recommend having a 3-month emergency fund. I happen to double that. So I have a 6-month emergency fund at home, meaning all my needs are met and some of my wants are met with the money that I have saved just for a rainy day or a rainy time, kind of like what we're in right now. A lot of what I saw and heard back in 2008 is a lot of the same things I'm hearing now, minus like the housing crash. But interest rates are playing a role right now, that a lot of people maybe aren't going out and buying certain things because interest rates are, in my estimation, still too high. Like if I was to buy another piece of property or another house right now, I don't think I would. Even with somebody that has good credit and the funds for a healthy down payment, I don't think I would do it. Hold on one second. But anyways, I believe that can work for business too. So I was going to make a video out of this, and I ended up not doing it because I thought I didn't think it would go over very well. So I decided to go live, and I'll talk about it live. I think first and foremost, if you want to feel a little secure, I think that guy did. Shoot, I don't know if y'all can hear me. Hold on a second. Yes, Cash is calling. I don't know. Can you hear me okay? Is it coming through my headset? I don't know. But yeah, Cash just tried calling. Anyways, I don't know if it's going through my headset or not now. Here, there's an easy way to find out. Hold on a second. All right, I'm back. It says my headset's connected. Anyways, let's get back to what I was talking about. I think for me, what worked for me was really seeing where my money was being spent. Because it's easy to swipe a debit card or a credit card, and unless you're writing it down or every day you're doing your due diligence and looking at your bank account, it's easy to like lose focus of where your money's going. So the first thing I implemented in my personal life was a budget. That way I could see what I was estimating things to cost and what the reality of those things actually were costing me. And once I was able to institute a budget and follow it, it became really easy for me to save money. So when I became an owner operator, I did the same thing. I think we all, I know Cents Per Mile has shared his stuff on the internet before, doing profit and loss. I think that's really important, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. I do it all the time. I know what I make every week. I know what my costs are, and then I do a monthly and a quarterly review of everything. But once you create a budget, you can see where you can eliminate some spending. You can eliminate things and maybe save some money. So anyways, getting back to what I was saying, I wrote down what I determined my fixed costs to be as a business. Now I already know this. I did this for a video. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things on this list. And 3 of them can be taken away. Now, let's just say I wanted to take 6 months off and not work. I still have to pay certain costs as a business to stay afloat, right? My truck payment, my trailer payment, my insurance, my health insurance, because my business pays its employees' health insurance. I did put my business cell phone, parking. I have a paid spot back in Minnesota that I pay for monthly to park my truck at when I'm at home. So that's in there. I put the DAT load board because that is a cost I have every month. And I'm also a member of the TVC Pro Driver that charges me every month. Now, I could take out TVC Pro Driver, which is $60 a month, DAT load board, which is $145 a month, and my cell phone, because I have other cell phones that I could use for business if I wanted to. That is $160. If you remove those 3 things, that is a savings of $435 a month. But let's talk about this. If I didn't remove those things, my total expenses are $4,315 monthly that I need to operate. This does not include taxes, maintenance, or anything like that. That's if my truck is sitting and I'm doing nothing. So for 6 months, that is a total of $25,890 that I need set aside for a rainy day or rainy times. And you know what? Back when I got into this, the rates were insane. And I believe I took advantage of those rates. My first truck, I made 8 payments and had it paid off in 6 months. And then what I did was I looked at those numbers and said, I'm going to set aside $25,800 and what was it? $890. I actually raised that because that's what I do. I took $30,000 and set it aside to where if I don't want to work for 6 months, I don't have to. I don't have to do anything. And if you remember what I said earlier, I have 6 months set aside in my personal life. I don't have to do anything for 6 months if I don't want to. And the only reason that I've done that is because of what I went through in 2008. When I realized that I was overextended personally, I was trying to keep up with the Joneses. I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. I made a decision I would never live like that again. I went from owning houses and property to living in a mother-in-law apartment at my friend's house, trying to raise 2 kids. And it took me 2 years, from 2008 to 2011, to dig myself out of the hole that I created. And I think that's so important. When you can actually take accountability for your spending and your spending habits, you will learn to have control over those things. So many times I found myself blaming the economy, blaming the fact that I lost my job, blaming everything for my problems except myself. I didn't need 3 brand new cars. I didn't need a new boat. There was things that I did not need that I just went out and got because the American society we live in tells us that we need to do these things when we have money. Instead of like salting that money away and letting it generate wealth for you, we just go out and spend it. And I didn't want that to ever happen to me again. So I made a decision back then to change my spending habits. And you know what? When I became a small business owner, I did the same thing, you know? And I'm definitely like feeling the effects of a down trucking market, down trucking economy, and the economy as a whole. Like I'm feeling it, you know, in the stock market and other things that I do. But you know what? I'm not scared like I was back in 2008 because I know I'm coming from more of a position of power. And I believe all of us can do that. You just have to learn, you have to find that starting point. And in my opinion, the starting point is having a real budget that you follow. And it takes a while to get used to doing that. But once you do that, your money's no longer dictating what you do. Like you are dictating what you do with the money. You are in control. You don't feel like the weight of high credit card debt or all these payments or bill collectors calling you like I did back in 2008. Totally got off saying hi to people. Or I should talk to people. Tolga, hey mate, huge respect for you, for sure. Hard times, man, but you making it perfectly. Yeah, I still have the struggles like we all do, man. I'm not, you know, to be honest, I feel like I want to keep learning more about money. And when I think about money, I'm not talking about having like a huge lump sum. I want to learn how money works more. And that started with going through that bankruptcy, going to federal court for a bankruptcy. Like that was, I remember those days and thinking like, I never want to be in this position again. It was Cash calling. Cash got me. Yes, Cash got me. That is because, you know what? I wouldn't say I quit watching YouTube. I quit watching a lot of trucking YouTube, and I unsubscribed from just about everybody, which I didn't know. I didn't unsubscribe from Cash. I shut off notifications. So there was a few times there where I called Cash when Cash was live, and now he's just getting me back. But he warned me. He told me he was going to do it. The animals in the house, Dave Ramsey in the house. No, by no means am I a Dave Ramsey. I've taken. Cash is calling me again. Unbelievable. He's got to know I'm live. So now he's doing this on purpose. No, I've just done things, man. I've taken bits and pieces, the animal, from things I've read, things I've watched that maybe put me in a position to just be more comfortable, man. I hated stressing about things all the time. And I still do stress about things. By no means am I where I really want to be. But I'm getting there. And that is such a good feeling. Knowing that I'm moving forward instead of always feeling like I was moving backwards or drowned by debt. You know, I remember buying my last new car. It was the last new car that I ever bought. It was repossessed. The guy in a tow truck showed up at my house. Now, all right. Now Cash and DIY are calling me. They're definitely messing with me. Definitely. My DAT low board's $145 a month because I have the top paid version of it, cents per mile. Yes, you just saved me $1,200. See, it's that simple, but I like the top version. I go to answer the phone and they hang up. They hang up. Big orange pumpkins in the house. What's going on? Listen, I did the same mistake. Like, I have 3 cars, etc. I sold everything, keep only one. I don't use anymore. Yeah. Well, like I was saying, the last car I ever purchased, brand new, was repossessed from me. I have never bought anything brand new ever since then. The trucks I own for my business have all been used. My cars, the 2 cars that I... If you two are watching this right now, now I'm probably demonetized. That was DIY semi-calling only to say Baba Booey and hang up the phone on me. You know, usually when he calls a couple of times, I do answer because it's usually something important. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. The 2 cars that I own, I've owned for years. One of them, I own more than 2 cars, but like my oldest drives one, and you know what I'm getting at. The car that I used to drive had 260,000 miles on it, and it ran perfect. My wife's car is getting up there. We're thinking about getting another vehicle right now, but it's just changing your mind frame. You know what I mean? That put me in a different position. You know, Baba Booey. There he goes. DIY semi. Yeah, Cash and DIY are they're on a roll, calling me because I'm live. I guess I've done that to them a couple of times. It's just good ammunition. Why would I stop now? I've done it out of mistakes. They're doing it because they know I'm live. But anyways, I really believe that, you know, we can be in a down economy, we can be in a bad market, and we don't have to feel the burden of it. You know what I mean? Where it keeps you up at night. I'll never forget feeling that way. Scared of how I was gonna put food on the table. I mean, I've shared this in other live shows. There was a time when I was a single parent where my kids ate like the good protein meats, the chickens and things like that, and beef, and I was eating beans and rice. You know what I mean? When times got really bare, like I remember that. I remember saving the good food for my daughters and me eating just whatever was kind of left over. And I never wanted to feel like that again. I never wanted to feel like, you know, when I had a buddy that allowed me to live with him. Great guy. You know, I basically had an apartment in his house. It was in the basement of the house. I had my own entrance. I never really had to interact with anybody. I did because the other people that lived there were my friends too. But I didn't want somebody to have what I thought was like power and control over me. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be a renter like that, where I felt like almost indebted because they gave me something. I never wanted to feel that way again. And I made decisions and choices moving forward in my life that I believe we all can make. It's just hard to do. And I think so many of us want to blame everything that we don't have control over. If you look at even, you know, like teenage kids, they want to blame other things and other people and circumstances. Why not look at the things you are in control of before you just say, oh, this is crap, this is horrible? If you put yourself in a position of power financially, the downtimes don't hurt as bad. You know what I mean? They still hurt. You don't like, I just looked at a profit and loss statement. I was talking to another another contractor that's leased on to the carrier that I'm with. Him and I think a lot alike, and we share similar interests. I'm trying to pull this up. So him and I were talking, and I was going over something, because here's the thing. You can save money so many ways, right? I just saved at home $125 a month by eliminating all like the add-ons. You know, I used to have cable TV. I got rid of cable TV because it was super expensive. Well, what do? I sign up for Hulu Live, Netflix. I signed up for all of them. And just this past, 3 days ago, my wife and I sat down, and I was like, man, we're spending a lot on TV, and we went through everything, and I was like, okay, we're canceling this, we're canceling this, why do we have HBO Max? What are we watching? We're not watching anything. We just sign up for it because we're dumb. And it was like, hey, let's cancel all these things and save some money. And we saved $125 a month in subscription fees. So I'm just bringing something up right now. Bringing up my profit and loss statements, my year to date and stuff like that. So a lot of people complain about a down market, which I agree with. We're in weird times, right? So I'm making sure this doesn't say my name or anything. Nope. Just so you can tell, I am looking at a profit and loss statement on my computer here. And this is for the month of April. The month of April was horrible. And I don't really remember why. It looks like I drove a lot of miles. For me, guys, I drove a lot of miles. 7,902 miles. I must be missing some income here. I'm going to have to go back and look. You know what? I'm not missing income. I took a lot of time off. Yeah, so this might make sense. So my gross revenue for the month of April was $12,167.99. My total expenses for the month were $13,838.33. I am in the red, $1,670.34 for the month of April. Hello? Did he hang up? Swore I answered it. Can you all hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Can you all hear me? Because now I feel like... Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I got so much stuff going on. This is insane, and it's getting hot in my truck. Anyways, when you have months like that, as an owner-operator, a lot of people get scared. And you know what? That happens. There's months... I mean, that's not even a bad month where I lost $1,670.34. Like, I've lost a lot more than that as an owner-operator before. But when I looked at this, like, I don't get scared. You know what I mean? I don't like seeing it. I don't think it's that's definitely not sustainable. But I maybe don't get as nervous or as scared as I should. And the reason is, I know financially I'm sitting okay. I'm sitting okay personally and business-wise. And that's because I implemented strategies that I learned on a personal side into business. And in my opinion, and what works for me, was seeing where my money was being spent. The easiest way for me to do that was to create a budget and work on that budget. You know, eliminate things that I don't need. And honestly, when I was starting back up, like starting to think about buying houses again and doing things, like, I made that decision and really focused on where my spending was, and literally for years only did things that I needed. I didn't do a lot of things or get a lot of things that I wanted. I had grocery lists when I went to the grocery store instead of just going and pulling stuff off the shelf. You know what I mean? I didn't just get in my car and drive certain places because it cost a lot of money then. You know what I mean? I didn't make the trips that I wanted to make. I should get to some of these comments. Fake news. Gotta make hay while the sun shines. Cheap freight hauler, absolutely. And some days you make a decision to not be part of the rat race. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, by no means am I where I want to be yet. But to know that there is an end, and like you can kind of see the end, it makes things a little bit easier. And I don't feel like today anything is like overwhelming me financially. Like I don't have this huge financial burden over my head that I lived with for years. It's almost like a freeing experience. I overpaid for the truck that I'm in, right? I paid $80,000 for this truck. I just looked at my paperwork, $68,000. I overpaid for this truck, but at the time, that's what the market was. You know what I mean? When I bought this truck, I think it's been like 18, 19 months that I bought the truck at like a fair market price. This truck today would be half of what I paid for it. I used to look at things like that as like this huge financial burden. But you know what? Like, because I instituted a budget in my life, what that did for me was it allowed me to save money. It allowed me to restore my credit. It allowed me to do so many things that when I overpaid for this truck, I got a decent interest rate for the very first commercial style loan on a piece of equipment that I've ever done in my life. I got a very manageable monthly payment that isn't going to break me. I'm not a guy sitting out here with a $5,000 a month truck payment. Just think about that. Think about that number and what I just went over. Imagine if you had to have... All right. They're all on one. I'm going to end this live because it's going to continue to upset me because now I have contractors that are leased onto the carrier that I'm with calling me. So I'm sure they're all just messing with me now. So yeah, congratulations guys. I'm going to end this live because I don't want to keep hearing my phone ring while I'm trying to do this. So I'm going to leave you all with this. If right now is a hard time for you, I have sympathy. I understand. I ask you to take a look in the mirror, come up with a plan, and attack that plan. Stop pointing fingers. Stop blaming everything you are not in control of, right? Take control of what you are in control of. You're in control of your financial place. 100%. You are in control of that. It might not be a good place, but you can at least be in control of it and turn it around for yourself. It's not hard to do. I never thought I would be a guy that like, I'm not saying you should do this with your money, right? Tolga said something in a live show. The first trying to get $1,000 a month in dividend payments is extremely hard. You have to invest lots of money to get that. But what if I could tell you, hey man, you can get $5 a month? You know what I mean? That's something you can do. And I never thought that I could see returns and see my money growing for me, because I was in a position where all my money that I ever made was being spent on all these things that I didn't need. You know what I mean? And I don't want to live like that. And the way that I got myself out of there was taking a hard look in the mirror, pointing that finger back at me and saying, you're the idiot, you're the dumbass, you're the one that has overspent on everything you own in your life. You can even do that as a business. Why would you, this is a tough market to have a $5,000 a month truck payment. If you want 6 months, you got to have $30,000 just for your truck payment. Like, that's absurd in my mind. So take a hard look in the mirror and change it. You have the power to do it. You are... Oh my God. All right. That was cents per mile, who was just in this live show. So I'm getting off. Congratulations, guys. Take care. What a bunch of...